the screen.
Okay, so welcome to 50/50 crowdfunding. As I said, I was quite skeptical when I heard it was crowdfunding because I have been involved in business in the past, but this is very different than anything I've ever seen before. And hopefully by understanding a few main key points that are unique to this company, it will give you some idea of why this is different. First of all, 50/50 is the world's first crowdfunding system that allows you to receive half of everything. Normally, you would send one donation maybe to one person, but this is split 50/50, and that is on everything that happens in your donation centers forever. So it's based on the world famous Mobius loop. If anybody doesn't know what that is about, basically every single person that you personally introduce follows you right through the whole system. They're tied to you for life, and behind them is obviously any team that they introduce. And this whole system is based on the System G technology, which is the most successful 2x2 following me donation center in history. So 50/50 is a team crowdfunding system that provides help from above and below. So it's not you on your own, just dependent on your own efforts. You can get help from above. From yourself, and obviously from anybody you introduce, anybody that they introduce, and so on. And you can literally start receiving donations literally seconds after you have received donations after you've registered. So 50/50 crowdfunding is a peer-to-peer team crowdfunding system. Now, that was the most important thing I wanted to hear. It actually means there's no middleman. There's no company where your money is being held by a company and you're reliant on that company continuing. And if that company doesn't continue, you're stuck. Your money is tied up with them. There is no money going to the company other than the $29. All the donations are literally peer-to-peer, person-to-person. And you can literally start receiving funds almost immediately that you join. So 50/50 provides you with an easy to navigate, totally automated dashboard and a system basically that displays everything in real time and allows you to monitor your donations literally second by second as they come in. So what do you actually do? It takes 3 steps. First of all, you need to register. You need to send $29 to the company. That's for your license fee, and that's once every 6 months. And then all you need to do is to become an active donor. And to do that, you need to donate 50% of, as an example, the start, which is $250, split into $125 to your sponsor and $125 to the person that you drop into under the matrix. And then all you need to do is to help and find 2 people and help them do exactly the same. Send the 29 to the company and become active donors themselves. So if you introduce the first person and then you introduce the second person, what you do after then, my advice is teach them to do or help them to do exactly the same thing. Now you can introduce more than that, but I just want to show you how simple this whole system is. You can literally do this with 2 people. Just help that first person introduce their first person, and then help the second person that you introduce personally get their first person, and then help them get 1 other each, and you will have 6 in total. Now, that it means you've just filled your first donation center, and that really is the system right throughout the different centers I'm going to explain to you in a second. So 50% goes to you, and there are 5 donation centers. You receive 50% of the 5 independent donation centers, so they are independent. When I first saw this, I did actually ask John a question. I asked him how much did he start with. He did tell me he started with all donation centers, which would have cost him $7,500. Now, when I first heard that, I thought that's out of the question for me. So I asked him another question: what is the minimum you can start with? And the minimum is $250. Now, I asked him another question: if I started with a minimum, could I get to where he was with just that outlay? And he told me yes. And that's exactly what happens. That is probably the only money that you will be out of pocket, and that will literally fund you through all the 5 donation centers. It's a completely self-funding business. So let's take level 1. At level 1, you're on the 250 level. You receive a total of 6 donations. That's the 6 positions below you. Now remember, that could be filled by you, your upline, or your people that you introduce. In total, you'll receive a total of $750 minus the $250. You can work it out. Level 2 is the 500 level. If everybody starts off at the 250 level, you can add the 500 level, so you'll have the 250 and the 500 running together. So you'll now receive donations from the 250 of the 125 and donations from the 500 of the 250. If you get 6 positions filled in that level, that's a total of 1,500, and so you can move to the next level and so on. You can see at each level the amount you donate increases, but also so does the amount you receive in relative terms. So there's 5 donation centers in total. The maximum is the 4,000 level, and you receive again in all of them 6 donations of 2,000, so a total of $12,000 on that one level. Now just imagine if you just had one person on each level each month. Just work it out for yourself. So this is how it works. You obviously start and you introduce your first person. That first person donates up 125 to you and 125 to your sponsor. Second person you introduce, same thing again, 125 goes to you and 125 goes to your sponsor. Now you help that first person introduce their first person. You will receive 125, and the next person the same, and so it goes on. Can everybody hear me all right? Because I just had a notice there about the internet is not good. Can somebody just unmute themselves and tell me whether you can hear me all right?
Yes, it's fine.
Great. Okay.
Fine, Duncan.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
we're hearing you.
all you have to do is carry on just working, and once you've completed that matrix, you've received a total of 750. So that's really the presentation. It is very simple. There are a few questions people generally ask, and we'll go through those in a second. The general questions most people ask is legality, longevity, and we're going to cover those through tonight. But first, before we start, I'd like to introduce the guy who actually introduced my sponsor, John Van Derzen. Joe, are you on the call there?
Yes, I am. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you loud and clear. Joe, I didn't want to say too much about you. I didn't want to spoil your thunder, but if I can just say to everybody, when I first sent my donation to John, and then I saw you, I hadn't spoken to you, but I sent you a donation, and then I asked you a question, and I asked you to tell me a bit about yourself and how long you'd been in it and how much you'd earned, and you also then told me that you sponsored John. So if I'm not right, practically everybody in this company is below you, if that's correct.
That would be correct, absolutely. Yes.
Okay. So Joe, go ahead, and you've got the floor.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for inviting me on this call. I know I've been on these calls a few times, maybe every couple of weeks. My name's Joe. I actually live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, just north of John Van Derzen. I know you guys probably know who he is. Anyways, yeah, I mean, we started this 45 days ago. It's been quite the ride. It's been life-changing for ourselves, for many people around the globe. I believe we're in about 90 countries around the world. So this is not just something that's in the UK or South Africa or Canada or the US. This is every corners of the world you could promote this and help somebody and have them bless you, and you can bless them. It's been an opportunity like I've never seen before. And the funny thing is, myself and Duncan, when we first met, we were talking about our experiences. I've been in the industry for 25 years, and I mentioned to him, I said, Duncan, last 3-4 years, there's been a major shift happening on the internet where there's nothing out there anymore. There's no companies. There's no everyone seems to everything's stagnated. Everything, I don't know what happened, but there's nothing. Crypto comes out, so there's all these crypto deals. Those kind of fell on the wayside. You've got nutritional companies where man, people are so educated nowadays. They go on Amazon and buy this stuff for cheaper, and just people are just getting wiser. Not saying that we're trying to deceive them. That's not the point. It's happening in the car business. It's happening in movie stores. Movie stores have closed down. I'm talking where you rent VHS. Those closed down, or CDs. Those are closed down now. We've got Netflix. So there's a shift happening, but it's also happening in the business world. And prior to myself and John getting involved in this, myself and John were sitting there talking, how can we, where can we find something that's quick, that can help a lot of people make a lot of money, that could be worldwide, that could be digital, something that's transferred right away. Well, needless to say, we came across this. We ended up talking to David Rosen. It was before our Thanksgiving. Our Thanksgiving in Canada is around October, somewhere around the first week of October. We took a look at this. We both jumped in with at the full 5 packages, the $77.50, and the Tuesday after our Thanksgiving, we went to work. Our very first day, I remember we were in we've pretty well recouped our money our very first day, and then it's been a total. I mean, if you knew, between myself and John, we're probably almost close to $200,000 in income received. And I don't like to talk about income. I'm not giving you guys the exact number, but I'm just saying roughly close, very close to $200,000 in the last 44 days. So this is definitely life-changing for a lot of people. We get the same questions as Duncan mentioned about legalities. This is 100% legal around the world. We've had attorneys that checked it out, peer-to-peer. You don't have to worry about a company disappearing, because the company has nothing to do with this except for the $29 that they receive every 6 months for the software, for the tracking system, and that's it. Everything else is Duncan sends me money, or I send Duncan money, or I send money to Colin. That's it. It's peer to peer, which is something I've never seen and done in my life, and it's been a godsend for many people around the world. So that's basically my story. I mean, bottom line is this, guys. I'll tell you guys something. I've learned a lot in the 45 days. It feels like we've been doing this a long time, because it's been very intense and high impact for all of us. I mean, the intensity, the amount of people coming in. Well, I'll tell you guys one thing. The biggest thing is to keep it really, really simple. The reason why we've done so well and people want to emulate what we did, we keep it simple. The more you say, the less you make. Remember that. The more you say, the less you make. When I call somebody up or send them a message, I always ask them, are you open to making some extra money? Are you open to whatever the case may be, something short and sweet? They say yes. I send them the 8-minute video. That's all I do. They respond back. I answer a few questions. I share a few stories, in or out. That's it. That's our system. We've got this mastered, and we have a lot of people out there trying to do too much or talk too much or call somebody up. Hi, this is a crowdfunding. The people will prejudge you before they even look at the information. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because I had a few people that called me and asked me the same thing. Was how come they changed their approach and their business went through the roof? I'm just trying to give as much value to you guys today as far as duplication. And I'll tell you guys one last thing is duplication is a commodity that's very rare in the network marketing or any kind of business in the world. We have it here. This is very duplicatable. This is the most duplicatable thing I've ever seen in my life. So how do we duplicate? Is by keeping it simple. You don't have to know everything. The only thing you have to be is like a traffic cop, a policeman that directs traffic. That's all. Just direct them to the information. If you can do that, you can make all the money in the world. And that's it. But I find that people that think that they have to say it a lot, they're going to lose people. They're going to lose a lot of people because they're going to prejudge them. So that's probably all I have to say for right now, Duncan. If there's anything else, I'll be more than happy to share it for you guys.
Joe, you're absolutely right about keeping it simple. That is the biggest problem. Most people complicate it by talking too much, trying to explain it to people. You're absolutely right. That video is the best thing the company did.
Yes.
Just while you're on a call, Monique is on the call. I don't know whether you want to unmute yourself, Monique, and ask the question, but if you don't, I will ask Joe this question. And it comes up a lot. We have answered it, and I do know the answer, but Monique wanted to know the longevity of the company. In some people's minds, they see that this is a system where if people aren't putting donations in, it's going to close or finish. What's your answer to that?
Well, my answer to that is very simple. There's a company called Amway. I don't know if you guys heard of Amway.
Yep.
Amway's been around for, I don't know, 30, 40 years. I don't even know, a long time. They're one of the first network marketing companies. And the reason I want to use this as an analogy, I just want you guys to understand something. That in the world today, in any kind of business, nothing moves without a sale, without a movement of something or money being transferred. I don't care where it is. It doesn't matter. It's not hocus pocus. People talk about residual, in network marketing. Well, guess what? Residual comes from what? It comes from sales of products. Somebody selling something, doing something. It's no different with this. Now, the difference with this is that as somebody brand new comes in, they share it with a few people. Those people share with a few people. You come back in again, the Mobius loop that Duncan talked about. It's an amazing thing where you keep following your sponsors so the team stays together. We have to re-enter all the time. When I cycle, I have to repay again. If I cycle on the $4,000 board, I have to pay one person $2,000. I have to pay another person $2,000. It keeps everything going. So the beautiful thing about this is that this will go forever as long as people keep going back in. And I can assure you that I will be going back in. I'm sure Duncan will be going back in every single time. So to answer your question, longevity, be like asking if, any kind of network marketing or any business, car dealerships, anything like that, without them selling anything, guess what? It doesn't work. It stops. The longevity ends of it. But I'll tell you guys something. The biggest thing here is this, that 70 to 80% of people that get involved with 50-50 crowdfunding get a donation. Now, I can't say this about network marketing or any kind of other businesses out there because I know it's about 2% that get anything back. This is 70 to 80%. So when we talk longevity, this is here for a long, long time. And the reason why I'm saying this is because David has another program called Get One, Get Four, G1, G4. He started in 2002. This is the more advanced. This 50-50 crowdfunding is a way more advanced, 10 times more advanced than the G1, G4, and the G1, G4 is still running today. As a matter of fact, there's a person that donated $100 16 years ago, still getting donations today from it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Can I ask you a question on top of that?
Sure.
Monique? Because you talk about that 16 years. I think that 16 years, the G1, G4 already going, but doesn't it slow down? I mean, of course, it's still a lot of money and still moves, but it slows down, and nothing really lasts forever. And this is where I got triggered with this word, is like the forever. Why would we want to use that word when talking to people about being forever? I don't, that's just a moral thing in me. So I was just wondering what the answer was to that.
No, I mean, you know what? Everyone has their own language. Everybody has their own ways of saying that whatever is comfortable. If you talk to David Rosen, he'll tell you that this program will be around for your grandkids. That's what he'll say. That's how passionate he is about what he's put together. I don't use that language. I know it's going to be around for a long time. Forever is a very strong word. It's like using the word hate, right? Those are strong words. But I get what you're saying, Monique. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that you're going to be well looked after for a very long time, providing we all as a team work together and share the blessing with other people out there. It'll be around for a very long time, and that's what I believe. Absolutely.
Yeah, I believe that too, and I can live with that. It's just that word that was really triggered me.
No worries. No worries. It's awesome. Yeah, thanks for asking the question. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for answer.
So just to elaborate a bit on what you were talking about, Noel here from Dublin, how are you? I'm in 3 weeks yesterday, and I just shared a little there today. A friend of mine who was a fitter, as in carpenter, fit a gym here in Dublin, lost 75,000 because the crowd that got him to put the lockers into this gym went belly up while he did it. He lost 75,000. He lost his business, etc. And I went to him on Thursday, the day after I went into it, and showed him it. And he's a good network marketer anyway. And I said, how would you like to start the business now for 250 quid? You won't look for anything else into it. Jesus, no, what is it? I told him what it was. Simply sat with him, had a cup of coffee, showed him the video. His partner, who also lost the business with him, was sitting with him. And I said to him, I'll tell you what I'm going to do to you. I'll put the 250 in for you. You just get 2 people to duplicate what you do, and you get them to do the same. And I know the people that are involved. I know the people you have. Now you have the time to do this, that you're not sitting in the gym, fitting it out, working 12 hours a day. This is simple. This guy, yesterday, has earned more money in 20 days than he earned in 3 months in the business he was running and paying PRSI, taxes, rates, office, everything. And this guy now is up and running. Regards to the other end of it, the longevity, it's up to you. You get over what you put into it. If you want to keep it going, it's up to you. You want to keep your team going, it's up to you. I have a plan to meet once a month, see how the team are doing. If there's anybody down, a bit negative, we'll put them positive. Nothing sure, put them positive. It's longevity is up to you and you only. Not anybody else, you.
You couldn't have said it better. That story right there wants me to sign up again. And I'm not saying this. This is what this is about. This is about helping people, and this is really helping a lot of people. Thank you for sharing. That was awesome.
Yeah. No problem, Joe. No problem.
Okay, thanks, Joe. If there's anybody on the call who wants to unmute themselves, now's your chance to ask a question. If you could please make sure you've got no background noise.
I'd like to ask a question, please, Duncan, if that's all right.
You're welcome. You can go on.
I'd like Joe to answer, actually, if you would, because it's something that I'll get all the time, and I do answer it myself, but I'd like to hear Joe's answer. People will see the 2x2 donation centre, and they assume it's a matrix, and only the people at the top are making any money. How would you answer that, Joe?
That's a good question. I'm glad you're asking me that question, because I myself have brought in a gentleman named John Van Derzen, which is Duncan's sponsor. He's made probably 60 grand more than I have made, because he's brought in more people, and he's worked a lot harder than I have, and I brought him in. So this is the fairest plan on the planet. If you bring somebody in, they go to work, they bring in more people than you, they're going to make more money than you. And that's it. So in a pyramid type of thing that people talk about, this elusive pyramid, that's basically branches of corporation. This is not it. In corporation, you'll never make as much as the CEO. You'll never make as much as anybody, vice presidents. But this is not the same thing. It doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, there's people that are below John that have made more money than myself. They're probably 6 or 7 levels below John, made more money than myself. So it's true, 100%. 100% equal for everybody. You will get what you put into it, 100%. And I love that more than anything. Good question.
Yeah, it is.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Colin. Anybody else want to open their mic up and just ask any question while Joe's here? Now's your chance.
Duncan, it's Mel.
Hi, Mel.
Hi. There's actually a question in the chat box. If I could just read it out to Joe. What are personal pending donors, and what should I say to them when I contact them?
Really easy. What I typically do now. Remember this, guys. This business is built on honor and trust, right? And I try to teach all of my people that, we want to share this with good people with ethics, people with morals. And the reason being is because we have some people that are trying to cheat out the system. And I'm going to answer your question. I just want to throw this out because it's really important. What I'm saying is that there's no company that's governing anything. It's like you get a donation. We expect, it says on the website, you got to pay that immediately. That is the 100% thing that you have to do. When I have to pay a donation, the first thing I do is I make sure I get that out to that person right away. That's what keeps things going. Now, when you get somebody sending you, when you owe somebody money or they owe you money, let's say you have a pending donor that owes you money, you could formulate a nice little email or a text and say, hi, my name is Joe. I noticed that you owe me a donation. Here's a couple of methods of payment that you can pay me. And then that's all I do. I just kind of basically write something out like that, or give them a quick call. Hey, congratulations. Isn't 50/50 a great little program for you? How are you doing? I noticed that you owe me a donation, and that's what I do. But you know, there's some people out there that don't honor those things, and you know, sometimes people want to get involved and they want to wait to see if they get any spill before they pay a donation. When that happens, they get basically terminated. They'll get suspended and they'll never be able to come back into the program again. And the reason I'm sharing this is because my standards in my business, I'm only looking for good people that are good, that want to help other people. It's about giving and receiving. It's not about just receiving and taking, because I find the whole world is like that. It's about take. This is it's a two-way street. That's what makes it work so well. I apologize for ranting on, but I just had to share that with you. I hope that answered your question.
No, that's really good, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Anybody else got any questions?
I've got another question for Joe.
Okay.
Hi, Emma.
Hello.
Go on, Emma.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say I've never done a live before, so I did
Don't
a little
worry,
live
you're
earlier,
doing
like
fantastic.
just before actually. Huh?
You're doing fantastic. Don't worry.
Oh, did you see it?
No.
Oh, good. Well, it took me long enough just to work out how the camera worked, but yeah, I've basically I got well, I started getting like people in so quickly that I thought, well, actually I've got, you know, I can probably take just a little breather and help them before I carry on with mine, if you see what I mean. And I think I've got about 15 people on the go at the minute, like together, you know, working together.
Fantastic.
And it's just blown my mind, really. I just wanted to say that.
I think it blows everybody's mind.
Yeah, but I did a little live and I got a few questions that I was like, well, I think this is how it is. and I kind of, but then luckily it was just before 8 o'clock, so I you know, I said, you know, join us on the live and then you can hear what it's like, hear from the people that do know what they're talking about. So hopefully some of them have joined. I don't know if they have or not. I can't see the names, but yeah, it's really good.
I love it. Thanks, Emma. Now there is a question from Clark. He's asking, or she, once your 6 circles is filled up and another one opens, do you still have to donate to your sponsor since you've started your own circle? The answer to that is yes. As long as you donate, you receive. So yes, if you want to carry on receiving, then you have to donate. That's the good thing about it, is it's a continuous cycle of money in, money out.
Can I just say, a lot of people are a little bit confused, thinking that they have to find more money, and it's like, well, you've just made the money to put back in. So I don't know if there's a way of like making that a little bit clearer.
Yeah,
that,
well,
you know, yes, you're putting money in again, but it's money you've already made as profit, so you're not really putting it in again. It's the same money.
It's income that you've received. You're right.
Yeah,
and that's the whole point, Emma. It's like if you look at a traditional business, when you open up a traditional business, you don't just put one amount of money in. You're constantly putting money back in. You sell stock, you buy it, you sell it, you buy it.
Yeah,
it's a constant flow of money, and it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
To receive, first of all, you have to donate, then you receive. Simple as that.
Definitely. I think they just think that they have to so I kind of find it again from somewhere else.
It's a completely one-off 250. As soon as I understood that, it's a completely self-funding system.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
absolutely.
Thanks, Emma.
Hi, Duncan.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. It's Patrick. Just a quick one. Can you take me through what happens when you've got to the level where you get your 12,000? Do you have to start again with a 250, or how do you? Can you just take me through?
Basically, each donation centre at some point cycles, doesn't it? Finishes. So whatever cycle finishes, that's the point when you donate again, and you start it again. So as an example, the 250, once you've cycled, once the 6 positions are filled, that finishes, and you go back into the system automatically, and then you donate again to start it again. And that happens up to 5 donation centres.
All right.
Each one will be finishing at a different time. So it's just a complete same thing. It's just over and over again. You can just carry on for as long as you want.
Okay. And did you say you can actually have more than just one group?
When we say more than one, you can have in total 5 donation centres. So the 250, the 500, the 1,000, the 2,000, and the 4,000. Once you've got all 5, all you do then is, as one finishes, you just donate again and start a new cycle.
Right. I see where you're going. Okay.
That's all it is.
All right. No, I get it. Thank you.
Robert.
All right,
Anybody else? Thank you, Robert. Anybody else? Any questions before we finish?
Another Robert.
Duncan.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Who's that? Sorry.
Okay, I will just let him proceed. I just want to ask a question, please.
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to ask, when you donate to your sponsor, and then you to the second person, which you don't know, as the system said, you're gonna reach other person maybe. So that second person which I donated, she or he is gonna donate maybe for the other person also, like as the system does.
Well, what you're talking about there is you never know who that person is going to be, because it changes every time that cycle happens. That people will drop underneath different people, and that's the whole point about it. Everybody basically is going to get a share of everybody else donating at some point. So every time a cycle happens, I donate to John, my sponsor, but I don't know who the other person's going to be. It's whoever I drop underneath in that next cycle.
Okay, so that's gonna rotating like a circle.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Okay, thank you very much.
It's a continuous moving target.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, guys.
Duncan, I've got a question for Joe, please, mate.
Yeah, go on.
Joe, I've been involved myself now for 30 days, and it feels like 30 years. So when you saw this 45 days ago, did you have any idea the way this has actually spread across the globe? Did you expect it to be like this at all?
I'm still pinching myself every morning. Absolutely not. This is way beyond my wildest dream. I didn't expect that at all. I didn't expect that people would gravitate to it, and I didn't know that there was that many people around the world that were suffering, that needed a hand up. It's incredible. I mean, as you guys know, Duncan and Colin, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's incredible what's happened.
I don't know whether you've heard, but my wife actually said to me, in your wildest dreams, did you ever imagine a business as good as this? And I said, never in a million years.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. It's what I call the perfect business. It really is. You just have to take some action, make a decision, take some action, and be consistent. That's the key.
Absolutely. And I always tell people this: start dreaming again.
Yeah.
Because everyone's been in such a tough place last 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. and they just live, you know, whatever, paycheck to paycheck, and just wishing, hoping. Now start dreaming again. Go to work, start dreaming again. I mean, 2019, I believe there's going to be a lot of millionaires on this call that you have right now, Duncan. There'll be a lot of millionaires on your call, including yourself and Colin. You guys will all be multi-millionaires from this. Just keep doing what you're doing. Trust it. It's amazing.
Okay, well, listen, Joe, I can't thank you enough. I'm so glad I dropped underneath you that day, and I'm so glad John persisted with me, because if I'd had ignored it, I dread to think what might have happened. It's the best thing that's happened to me for years.
Duncan, just before we finish, just for people, just to make it a bit easier for them, and it doesn't sound so painful or expensive, the way I have my people thinking is, it's 250, it's 500, it's 1,000, it's 2,000, it's 500. Now get this into your head. You do not even think of those figures. You can earn just half of each that figure every day. You can earn half of that figure every day. Forget about 250, it's only 125. Forget about 500, it's only 250. Forget about the 1,500 and so on. You can have 50% of the combined figure daily if you want to. It's up to you. And you can just, you don't have now to go in and say you're working a 40-hour shift, you're working 11 to 7, 3 to 11, whatever, in a job, and you know you're coming home every week with 400 or 500 quid. You can earn this in 20 minutes. 20 minutes if you apply yourself properly.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Noel. Thank you, Joe, for your time and your help. It is amazing what you're doing, and amazing opportunity. So everybody take this seriously, more seriously than you've ever done with anything ever in your life. I'm going to unmute everybody if you want to say good night, and thanks everybody for attending, and we'll see you all hopefully tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
All right, good night.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Great call.
Good night.
Good night.
Very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Colin.
Nice job, Andy, transferring that loan.